Live.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Should be interesting. Should be interesting. You ready? All right, let's see what happens.
Oh, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Live.
Well,
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, why aren't men allowed to give blood if they are pregnant? And also, if you can't do this for 10 seconds, you will die soon. Also, what is the latest trend called the Hampton Bladder? All this and much, much more will be discussed here on DeaconLive. How are you? How are things? How are things going? How are you? I haven't talked to you in a while. I know. I put up a short little snippet the other day just to let you know that I'm still alive, barely alive. But yeah, I've been busy here on the property. And for those of you who don't know, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. We sit on about 22 some odd acres. Let me turn this down a little bit. We sit on about 22 some odd acres, and we have chickens and horses and cattle and all the stuff. So it's quite a task in hand to get everything taken care of here on the property. Now, we have a brand new horse, a baby little horse. He's not a baby anymore. He's 4 years old. I'm told not to call him a baby anymore because then you treat him like a baby. It's like you're a kid, but you're not a kid. So we have what they call a lean-to, and basically it's just 4 poles in the ground with a tilted roof on top. Well, we have one that's about 36 feet long. So there's several poles and several inclines and stuff. So I'm up there tar and shingling for the last 2 weeks or so, all by myself. Hammer, the old school hammer, shingle, nail, hammer, shingle, nail, 4 nails per shingle, all the way across this whole entire thing, up and down on my knees. God, that sounds horrible, doesn't it? But that's what I've been doing for the last couple weeks. So thank you guys for hanging in there and supporting us. And I see all the numbers that jumped up on older podcasts. We have at least 200 some odd podcasts in our archive and stuff, which are still available over on iHeartRadio or anywhere you listen to DeaconLive, anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can find those past articles in our archives as well. So I'm back. We're back here on the air. We have a heat index or a heat warning index outside today. So I'm not going outside at all for the next 2 or 3 days or so. Now, the reason why I tell you I was doing the lean-to thing, so I've been out there building and taking care of the lean-to up on top and doing the shingles and stuff. And it's funny, the neighbors' kids, which are, about, 200-300 feet away, their property, of course, butts up to ours. That's why it's a neighbor. But we've got a row of evergreen pine trees in between the two of us. So now and then, the little kid pops his head through the trees and says, hey, mister, what are you doing, Mr. Deacon? I'm like, I'm putting on shingles and, nailing the stuff. And the kid's probably 4 years old. He's old enough to talk. He's old enough to walk. I don't think he's old enough to go to school yet. And he comes over and he's got, how little kids, they find something that's new to them and they will just exhaust the shit out of it. Like there's like not video games, but things like something as simple as like a horn, like a bicycle horn, ear. He will go around, or little kids will go around and just hit that horn all day long because that's a new sound form. It's a new thing to do. And after a certain amount of time, you're like, shut up, stop doing that. Well, this little kid, the youngest of 6 over there, he comes over and he's got a whistle. And when I say a whistle, not a normal police whistle with the little bean in it. It's the long where you blow through it, and it's just the whistle sound. You know what I'm talking about? It's about the width of a pencil, and it almost looks like a dog whistle, but you can still hear it. It doesn't have that little bean that, it goes. You guys are probably thinking I'm weird as hell by now. So he's walking around, and he's got it in his mouth all the time, and it's on a string around his neck. So as he's walking, he's breathing. Walking and breathing, blowing through the whistle as he exhales. And I can hear it up on top of me doing the shingles and stuff. And he comes over. I'm like, hey, buddy, what are you doing? He's like, I got me a whistle. I said, oh, okay. So you blow it every 3 seconds? Yeah. I'm like, whistles should be used for warnings or if you're in front of a marching band. And he turns to me. Now, what's that TV show, Kids Say the Darndest Things? He turns to me. Now I'm up in the air, probably 18 feet in the air. And he turns to me and goes, hold on, let me backtrack. So I said, it should be a warning like you're in trouble or in front of a marching band. Okay. He goes, like on your head? And I go, what do you mean like on my head? He goes, the band on your head. And I'm like, because I've got a sweatband wrapped around my head because it's hot up there. And I'm like, no, buddy, that's the wrong kind of band. A marching band is like when they have people out there with trumpets and drums and stuff, and usually they have flags. That's a band as well. I've never heard of that. Well, kid, you're 4 years old, all right? You're 4 years old. There's a lot of things in this world you haven't heard of yet, like stop blowing the damn whistle. He's out there running around, beat, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. So he finally, you can hear him walk off into the woods, and finally, he's going to cry wolf one time and blow the whistle, and we're just going to think he's playing around. Now, something I not playing around with, oh, God, almost died again. Yep, almost died again. Leave it to me. I'm up on this ladder. Actually, I'm on the roof, and I'm coming down. Going up on a roof from a ladder, at an A-frame ladder, is not that scary for me. You just go out there, hike up your skirt and throw your leg over the edge of the building, and you get up on top. But coming down, I've always, it's just been one of those unnerving things for me to do. I'm like I'm crawling down on my belly like a little kid with a whistle in its mouth. And I'm, hanging my legs over the edge and trying to find the top step and then have my other leg find the other step. And so I'm coming down after a long day of working on there, and I had a couple more shingles to do. So I had to come down and refresh my beverages and stuff and get some more nails. And as I'm coming down, I got nothing in my hands. As I'm coming down, I put my foot on one side of the step on the A-frame ladder, and then I put my foot on the other side. And when I put pressure down, what an A-frame ladder is that's got their fiberglass, because they're lighter to carry and whatnot. And of course, if you're working with electrical work, you're kind of grounded in itself. Well, we've had this 8-foot A-frame ladder. I lied, I wasn't 18 feet in the air, by the way. I was probably a good 9-10 feet in the air. So you can see the difference between the height of the ladder and the height of the roof. So the ladder's made out of fiberglass, and I've probably had that thing for probably 15 years. It's been out in the sun. It's been out in the yard. It's been, put away. It's gone through all the inclement weathers and stuff. So it's an old ladder. You can see where I'm going with this. So I put my one foot on the top step, my other foot on the next step down. And as I put pressure on it, the ladder twists, crink, and blew out the little hinges on the side. Well, when the hinges blow out the side, the ladder basically just folds on itself, collapses, and I'm hanging off the top of this roof. There's nowhere for me to go but straight down. Came straight down, landed on my left side hip. Thank God I didn't bump my head like I did last time, and I landed on dirt. Now, for those of you who don't know that, I fell off the ladder on hard concrete probably about 2 years ago. Knocked the wind out of me. I thought I was dead. I thought I was done, or I was going to be dead in the next 24 hours because of, I'm knocked a blood clot around that I didn't know I had, and it ends up on my brain, and all of a sudden I'm like, and I'm dead. Well, this time, of course, you can see I survived that one. But this time, I fell off, hit the dirt, and it was a softer landing, and I knew from my last fall what to do and what not to do in that 1.2 seconds as you're hurling my 250-pound body straight to the ground. And so I did it. I kind of balled up, tucked all my elbows and everything in, because before I kind of flailed out trying to slow myself down in the air like they do in the cartoons. Doesn't work. Balled myself up as much as I could and kind of rolled my head into my chest so my head wouldn't hit the ground. I was fine, kind of rolled over, stood up, and I was like going, God damn it. I was more pissed that I broke the ladder than I did fell. Again, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, all right, now I've jostled the blood clot to another part of my body. So that was a couple weeks ago. So I kind of took it easy for a couple weeks. I'm alive. I'm good for now. My left arm is, it's another thing. I'm so neurotic. My left arm is hurting, like behind my shoulder blade. in my left shoulder, and that's kind of the side that I fell on. But I think in the back of my head, is that the start of a heart attack? Am I going to have a heart attack? Is that the start of it? Is this it? Is this it? What was the Fred Sanford thing? It's the big one. It's the big one. What was her name? God, I forget. This is the big one, honey. Papa's coming to see you, that type thing. So I'm like, all right, I take a couple Advil, pain goes away. I'm like, all right, I'm not dying. I'm not having a heart attack. But so I've had a very eventful last 2 weeks. I miss you guys very much, and I appreciate you guys coming back. So let's get into it. We got a great show for you today. Lots of things going on. IT Dan, if you listen to the past podcast, the little short snippet that I sent out there, IT Dan is no longer with the show anymore. He decided that he just didn't have time to do the show and sit there and dedicate his time. So we've kind of waved to Dan, sent him all along his way. He'll be fine. He'll be good. He's busy doing a whole bunch of side jobs and stuff. So he'll be okay. All right, guys, stick around. We got a lot to get into. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social contacts, and the way you do that is go over to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio, and that's our home landing page for the website and everything that you need to know about Deacon Live or anything that we do as far as podcasts. I host several different podcasts over there on that platform. We also have a live streaming with the current music that's being played, not on the radio, but like on your TikToks, the famous songs and stuff. So check that out as well, and you'll hear a lot of the artists that we play here on Deacon Live. You'll hear them over there as well. And make sure you check them out and show them some love while you're over there. And for every podcast we do, we have a matching video as well, and you can see me wave at the camera. Hi, guys. And you can see all our sponsors up there as well, so show them some love while you're over there on the YouTube page and checking us out here. And you can see everything on my monitor. When I talk about articles and stuff, if there's a video, if there's something I want you to see, you can also see that, and you can be part of the show as well. And being part of the show, we'd love for you to do that. While you're at Prophet Radio, click on Be Heard, opens up a microphone on your tablet, your computer, wherever your device you're listening to us on, and leave us a message. It comes right to our inbox, and we play it on the very next podcast, unless you get it in now. And we'll play it on this podcast or the very next one as well. Now, as you guys know, we live on 22 some odd acres out here in Charlotte, North Carolina, actually just outside of Charlotte in a beautiful town we like to call Marshville. We sit on about 22 some odd acres. Our crops are in. We have corn. My dad is living with us now since my mom's passed away. He wanted to do lima beans, so we've got a third of an acre of lima beans. We have a third of an acre of corn. We have tomatoes coming out of our ears. And I like hot peppers, jalapenos. So we have a couple of those out there. So my dad's in charge of taking care of all that. Now, one of the things my dad does in the morning to help us out is he wakes up earlier than us. Old people sleep. He gets up at like 5:30, makes coffee, wakes me up. Of course, the coffee permeates throughout the house. And then he goes down and lets out the chickens from the chicken house. Now, we have a pretty good sized chicken house that my wife built. Not as big as the lean-to, but it's a good size. It's like 10 by 10 with a 6-foot roof inside. It houses all our chickens. And they literally go up at night. They're trained as soon as the sun passes I'm blocking the camera here. As soon as the sun passes the horizon line and sets, the chickens kind of form this one long line, and they go up into the chicken coop, and then that's it. They know that's their home. It's their bedtime. So my dad, I lock him up at night because it's too dark for him to walk out there on the property. He'll trip and fall and end up in the fire or something out there in the fire pit. But in the morning, he gets up, and he goes out there. He takes a side-by-side that we have, fires it up, drives it down to the chicken house, opens up the door. It's just one door, one big swinging door. He opens it up, locks it so it stays open, and all the chickens come walking out, and that's his thing. He made a joke the other day. He slept in till 6 o'clock, and when he went down to the chickens, they were all mad at him because they're used to being out by 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. So he said the chickens were mad at him. Now, these chickens right here shouldn't be mad at anyone. A farm is feeding chickens with marijuana instead of antibiotics and is fetching higher prices for consumers seeking organic poultry, researchers have said. So here we go. A farm is growing medical marijuana in North Thailand has been feeding its free-range chickens cannabis instead of antibiotics. The researchers said in this experiment has yielding promising results. Researchers in Chiang Mai University Department of Animal and Aquatic Sciences says fewer than 10% of the 1,000 chickens on the farm in Lamping have died. since they've introduced marijuana to the chickens' diet in 2021, January. While the studies find that's 10%, which is a good. If you know anything about raising chickens, they're such fragile animals. You know, they eat the wrong rock, they eat the wrong plant, especially free range. Boom, they're dead. Less than 10% is a good yield. While the studies find are still under review, they only cover up 1 year's worth of research. Assistant professor who led the study told Insider magazine that the cannabis fed to the chickens appears to be working. The mortality rate of the chickens at the farm has been the same and as in regular seasons when it isn't had a severe outbreak of any kind of bird-killing disease. So what they're saying is they're doing well. Workers produce the birds special food by adding crushed cannabis to their feed and water. The workers do not use antibiotics or medicines in the chickens during this time. Besides healthy chickens, the experiment also allows the farm to sell the birds for a higher price for consumers seeking a 100% almost organic poultry. The birds are fetching double the price. Now, you thought we were having problems with, supply chains and stuff and everything costing more. Let's go ahead and feed chickens some marijuana and make them cost even more. They cost about they cost about $1.50 per pound more than most buyers. But most buyers want to have organic chickens. So they also claim that the chicken's meat, which they call ganja. I've never seen it actually written out, ganja. I've always said it, but never saw it written out. G-A-N-J-A chicken, ganja chicken, is more tender and tastes better than the regular chickens. I would say so, man. Wouldn't you? Consumers in Thailand have been paying attention to this demand increasing for chickens as many farmers have to use antibiotics. Some customers want to find a safer product. So this is what they're having. But as part of the experiment, the researchers team would sometimes give chickens bolstered levels of tetrahydrocannabinol. Or THC. I should just say that and just leave the hard words for the big people with big brains. The substance of the marijuana that gives you a high. When that went past the legal limits for humans in Thailand. So earlier this month, the Thailand's government legalized the sale of cannabis products, but limited the amount of THC that one can consume at 0.2%. By consumption of chickens at farms who would sometimes get up to 0.4%. Yeah, where are you going with that marijuana? That's for my chickens. Yeah, you're right. I can't say that the cannabis doesn't let the chickens get high, but they do exhibit normal behavior. So they're not really getting high, but I guess the cannabis is helping fighting any kind of bird diseases and helps the chicken's immune system kind of fight off any kind of diseases that they might encounter. So there you go. High chicken is being available in Thailand, and who knows, that'll probably end up coming over here. 0.4% is not much as far as, how do you know? How do you know, Deacon? Well, I'm not going to say anything, but I just know it's not that much. It's like drinking a cup of coffee as compared to drinking like, what are those, not rock stars, the Bang. The Bang's got 300 milligrams of caffeine in it, and a cup of coffee has anywhere from 40 to 60, depending on your brew. It's kind of the same thing. So the chickens just might chill out for a while, but, that's about it. And coffee. U.S. researcher Christopher Balding says that he has found evidence that China is siphoning America's data through one of the most important things in our kitchen, our smart coffee machines. The researcher said that he has evidence that China is getting data based on our smart coffee machines. The IoT home appliance has absolutely ballooned in popularity over the last few years. Balding's new experience with the new Kite Data Labs, adding that China is experimenting or spying on Americans through their smart coffee machines, isn't the worst of it at all. The issues is always connected. Everything's connected. The Internet of Things and the future that we live in, everything's connected, is what Chris Balding was saying. The data collection from the coffee machines is part of a larger effort in China. They're going to get us. I'm sure that many other countries, all behind the U.S. in alphabetical order or alphabetic agencies, of course. Okay, the lower population. Balding says China is really collecting data on really just anything and everything. As manufacturers of the hub of the world, they can put these capabilities in all kinds of services throughout the world, and they go into everything. The new Kite Data Lab reports that the affected smart coffee machines in questions are reportedly made by Kalem, K-A-L-E-R-M, located in Jiangsu, China. If you're using one of these Spy on You coffee machines, it will be taking your product information, payment data, credit card details, and your personal data, which includes location and time. How does it do that? I don't understand. Well, we cannot say that the company is collecting data on non-Chinese users, but we're not saying they are collecting data. It's kind of reversed there. All the evidence indicates that the machines can and do collect data on users outside of the mainland China and store the data in the China's database. There's a joke there somewhere. I can't figure it out. The data is collected at the point of operation and from the software embedded in the coffee maker. Most countries have a significant size probability that they have an interest in devices like this. Make no zero mistake about that. We all like our smart things, and we want our coffee machines to be even smarter than that. So thinking that this is not unique or is unique, that China has taken data collection in efforts. So it doesn't say how they're doing it. Let's see. It doesn't say how they're collecting your data. They're just saying that it's collecting your data. Well, Jesus Christ, everything's collecting data. This morning, something as simple as we were out running low on sliced cheese in the house. So I've got an Alexa. Oh, here we go. Everyone's Alexa is going to be freaking out now and buying sliced cheese. But in the kitchen, I was running low on sliced cheese. So I said, Alexa, add sliced cheese to my shopping list. Now, in my dad's room, which is on the other side of the house, I know, baller, right? He goes in there and he's got his little tablet in there, and it says, should I order sliced cheese? And that's in the total other side of the room. So who knows if you got any of these smart devices, your coffee machine, your tea machines, or anything like that, that Alexa is keeping track of how much sliced cheese you eat, or how many cups of coffee you probably drink per day. I don't know if it has any whereabouts as far as how much sugar or cream you put in your coffee, but there you go. So check out your smart devices. This is nothing new to us. We're basically giving everyone the information. Any information that you want, we'll proudly give it to you, but, don't take our guns away type deal. All right, guys, stick around when we come back. Sir, are you pregnant? Because if you are, you can't give blood. I'll dive into that story and why this woman had a baby with her childhood friend. More details on that when we come back. Stick around. You listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We'd love to hear from you, and the way you do that is if you want to be part of the show, go over to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio, click on Be Heard, and opens up our microphone on your tablet, and you can be anonymous. You can ask us any question about past podcasts or anything like that, or if you just want to say, hey, happy birthday to my son or daughter or anything like that, we'll play it on the very next podcast. I know, it's like a birthday shout-out. Hey, Joey Macetona from Concord, Michigan. I'd like to thank you guys for being, just something simple like that. That's Joey Concord or whatever I just said. Now, this guy right here, this child, they say that, they're putting hormones in the chickens and girls are developing a little bit quicker than normal as far as breast or anything like that, developing way beyond, way before puberty in itself, or it's happening quicker. Well, this child right here, Barnaby Brown cell developed a sizable penis and hold on. I got to say this with a straight face. I got to try it because it's here's in the article. Barnaby, let me make sure I got the right screen so everyone can catch my shit. I'm on the wrong screen. Here we go. Barnaby Brown cell developed a sizable penis and pubic hair at the age of 2. Yes, you heard me right. Whenever Erica Brownsell took her 2-year-old Barnaby to the play area, the other parents would ask why the child his size was drinking from a bottle. On one occasion, she said that the stranger remarked that he looked like a little man and said some people started calling him Viking or Samsung because of his muscular build. Well, it was only after Brownsell saw pubic hair around Barnaby's sizable penis that she got seriously worried. I knew it wasn't normal, the 43-year-old mom said to Insider Magazine. nodding that her toddler resembles a 4 or 5-year-old baby. Even at 4 or 5 years old, you don't have a sizable penis and pubic hair. Come on, it's not until you're 6. Everyone knows that. he'd have a massive sustained erection. Oh God, please. Everyone's clicking the radio off now. Sizable erections, and his height and weight were way off the charts. Brownsell of Brighton, England, added that he weighed 26 pounds at the age of 1 and then put over 2 pounds on every month between the ages of 12 months and 18 months. That wasn't fat. It was just plain muscle. So Dr. Tony Hulse, a pediatrician at the Everlina London Children's Hospital in the UK, was somewhat baffled when Brownsell consulted him in March. Blood work shown that Barnaby had been abnormal height levels of testosterone as much as a grown man. When it became negligible, when it should be, anyways, he also had the bone density of 4.5. He also had the bone density of a 4.5-year-old child. Further tests ruled that most common causes, such as endocrine tumor or congenital disorder, may affect the adrenal glands. He was also very scary. Nobody seemed to know what was going on. One of the doctor's colleagues made a suggestion. She wondered whether Barnaby had been exposed to long periods of artificial testosterone treatment meant for adults. Huss told Insider Magazine that he emailed Brownsell and asked if he'd ever come in contact with the medication. My husband, quote, this is what she's saying, my husband has been using testosterone gel for several years, explaining that Barnaby's father, Peter, was born with a complex testicular condition. She said that they were shocked to learn that generous amounts of the topical gel he applied every day may have caused Barnaby's issues. He spent 2 years of his life thinking that he was protecting and caring for him when in fact his own environment was contaminating him. According to Brownsell, the career consultant, her husband used the product, brand name Testrogel in the UK and Adrogel for the equivalent type here in the Americas, on his skin to help correct his testosterone deficiency. The head of the pediatrician at the Cohen Children's Medical Center in New York told Insider that the absorption of the testosterone gel or cream typically applied to the upper arms and shoulders is never complete. So testosterone gel could be risky for kids if they're exposed to the medication. So what's happening is the dad had a low testosterone, so he's putting it on his arms and stuff, and then he's like, come here, son, give your daddy a hug. So, of course, the dad carries a son around on his hip, or however dad carries a kid around, like a football, I guess, stiff arming the mom as she goes into the room. And the cream and stuff was rubbing on his son's skin, and it was absorbing it. And so it caused him to have a 2-year-old erectile penis and pubic hair. Jesus Christ. We're canceled. We're going to be canceled. In the same file of that shit is weird, woke madness has now struck your local blood banks. Now, everyone out there, sure. Everyone that needs to give drugs. Everyone that gives blood, you're a lifesaver. I think was it O positive, O negative, something like that. The universal donor. If you're a universal donor, please go out there and donate as much blood as you can. I think there's some stipulations as far as like tattoos. If he had tattoos in the last year or something like that, I don't know all the details. I just know that there's a club out there that's, I've donated 25 gallons. I've donated, 50 gallons type stuff. So those people out there literally are lifesavers. But this gentleman right here, a British blood donor, a man in his 60s, was turned away from a local clinic when he refused to fill out the form asking whether he was pregnant or not, or had been pregnant in the last month. Yes. Being well past the advanced maternal age, quote unquote, as American doctors say, lacking the necessary plumbing to conceive, carry, and deliver a child, Leslie Sinclair refused to answer this nonsensical question. According to the Daily Mail, Sinclair has donated over 125 pints of blood over almost 50 years. When the man complained about this question, saying that it did not apply to him, Mr. Sinclair said that the staff clinic told him that they could not accept his blood. So the standoff took place at the NHS England hospital, launched a campaign earlier this week to recruit millions and millions of blood donors over the next 5 years after numbers fell during the pandemic. So at the same time, the Britain's state-run National Health Service is begging Britons to donate blood. The very potential donor will reveal whether he or she is pregnant in order to promote exclusiveness, just to be private. So he or she are pregnant. Excluding donors are now promoting inclusive. I'm not even going to say. I'm going to skip that. I told him that was stupid. Sinclair said, I told him that was stupid and that if I had to leave, I wouldn't be back. So, the guys, the nurses and stuff that are the phlebotomists are saying, hey, are you pregnant? No, why would I be pregnant? I'm just saying, I've got to ask. And I know that the people out there taking the blood, they're like, literally, you want me to ask this guy if he's pregnant? I mean, I would be, is that rude? Is it rude or is it stupid? I mean, there's a fine line there, rude and stupid. So, but I mean, with everyone, switching up their batting order as far as, whether I'm a male or a female or anything like that, you can't be too careful. But I mean, you could tell. Come on. Can you tell? I mean, for the most part, can you go, you know what? Are you pregnant? Or what if you came across a woman who was kind of hefty in the front and then you go, oh, you're pregnant. You can't give. I'm not pregnant. I mean, that's just as rude, telling this chick that because your belly, your thing sticks out in the front, you must be pregnant. No, then it's a double-edged sword and a double-edged entendre in the same sense. All right, guys, when we come back, this young lady fell in love with her her childhood friend, married him, and had a baby. But the story, it doesn't end there. It gets a little weird. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Don't forget, for every artist you hear on Deacon Live, you can find them over there at Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. You can hear the full-length songs, and make sure you follow them and show them some love as well. And we'd like to hear from you as well while you're over there. Just click on Be Heard. Send us a message. Comes right to our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast, and you can be part of the show as well. Now, my dad, as you guys know, my mom passed away a few months back. My dad's been living with us, and he does some kind of quirky things. He's 76 years old. He's allowed to do quirky things, but sometimes you just go, what are you doing? Honestly, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing this. So my dad and I, because my dad doesn't have a vehicle, he sold all his vehicles down in Florida, and I drove him up here. And so his cars were done in Florida. They wouldn't have made it here to North Carolina. And so we sold him down there, and we were going to buy him, or he's going to buy from the proceeds and stuff. He's got money saved up from the sale of the house and stuff. He's going to buy a car and do all that stuff. But in the meantime, so I go grocery shopping once a week because, where we live out just outside of Marshville, a beautiful little town we like to call, we live in Charlotte. Let me get this straight. We live just outside of Charlotte. That's where we're at, in a town called Marshville. Yep, we're there too. And there's no shopping around us. I mean, you have to drive a good probably 8 to 10 miles just to get to some kind of convenience or a shopping center of some sort. So my dad, myself and my dad go grocery shopping every Friday, and he does this thing he was doing in Florida. I don't get to see him too much when he was down in Florida, but I didn't know that every Friday my dad would buy scratch-off tickets. He does them, buys them, and the $20 ones, not the $2 ones. No, he goes big. Spends like $100 on them, scratch-off tickets. And then he wins $50. But since he's been up here, he's done the same thing. He just continues. I'm like, Dad, he scratches one. He buys 4 of the $20 tickets. So that's $80. He'll scratch and win $150. And then I'm like, Dad, take 100 of that, put it away because your groceries aren't even $100 a week. Put that away, take your $50 and roll that into something else. So he doesn't do that. Doesn't listen to me. Not that he should, but I'm like going, Dad, come up with some kind of formula here. And I asked him, I said, what's the end game, Dad? What is your end game as far as scratching these tickets at 76 years old? And you hit, when do you stop? He goes, I'll never stop. He goes, I like scratching the little sticky thing that's on it. Actually, it's latex. It's liquid latex that's on it. He's like, I like scratching the cards and maybe that chance of winning $1 million or $2 million or $5,000 or whatever. He's like, I just enjoy scratching these tickets. I'm like, Okay, it's kind of weird, but all right. I'll never ask you again. You've explained yourself. There's no rhyme or reason. You just enjoy doing it. So do, bam. I said, but if you win, I want 10%, because I'm driving you to the store. So that's, it was a joke that, anyways, kind of fell flat. But something that didn't fall flat is this young lady right here. A woman in Brazil married her childhood friend. Okay, so far that seems normal, right? Maravona Rocha Moraes from Brazil fell in love with her toy Ragdoll. Okay, that's a little weird. I mean, but that's all right. And then turned around and married it. That's where it gets weird. Morales, 37 from Brazil, met the love of her life after complaining to her mom that being single and having no one to dance with. Oh, she's a treat. So you can see what she looks like here. Here she is. Her mom created Marcelo, a ragdoll, and it was love at first sight as the pair enjoyed the whirlwind romance. Now, she had this doll since she was little, and now she has married this doll. It's a life-size doll. It's a full, looks like a scarecrow. She took Dad's shirt, shoved it with hay, stitched up the end of the arms, put some gloves on it, put some suspenders and pants. It looks like it should be a scarecrow. Look, here they are. God almighty. At least the guy could have done his hair. The ragdoll could have done his hair. She looks beautiful. There she is. So it was love at first sight. She decided to marry the toy in a ceremony which she attended by 250 people. All right, 250 crazy people or 250 people that look at her like she's crazy? Oh, mi amor, who are you marrying? My ragdoll. All right. However, yep, it doesn't get weirder. It does get weirder from there. However, only a few months after Morales found herself, quote unquote, pregnant. Yes, you heard me right. But not wanting to have the baby out of wedlock, the pair decided to get married in a ceremony which was attended by 250 people. There you go. All right, so after having spent the week-long honeymoon at the beach house in Rio de Janeiro, of course, the couple waited anxiously until their offspring arrived. She gave, quote-unquote, birth in just 35 minutes at home. Oh, God. Please tell me there's a video somewhere. With a doctor and a nurse on site. The doctor and the nurse on site, I can just see them going, what am I doing again? You need a seamstress? No, you need a doctor and a nurse. While live streaming, oh, please, someone out there, find this live stream for me and send it to me at deacon@prophetradio.com. Send me this live stream. While live streaming events to an audience of 250 people, 50 people are dropped off the guest list because they found out how loony she was. After only a few months of dating, the ragdoll Maravona found herself pregnant and she gave birth to a ragdoll baby. Here they are all in the hospital, and the ragdoll, her husband ragdoll, has scrubs on and stuff like he's a fucking real person. You could see these two people have masks on, laughing their ass off. This is probably her nephew or son, something. Despite living happily as a family, Maravona says she is struggling to pay the bills and has to be the only breadwinner in the family. You think? He is a man I've always wanted my whole entire life. Married life with him is so wonderful. He doesn't fight with me. He doesn't argue. He just understands me. He's a fucking doll. Marcelo is great and faithful husband. Like he's going to go around the corner and bang Holly Hobbit or something like that. He's such a man that all women envy him. I don't think so. So here they are. Oh, look, he doesn't have feet. Marcelo, you have no feet. He's going to look at them laying in bed together. There you go. Let's see. Oh, here's a video. Watch the full video. All right, let's see. Here we go, guys. This is your time to shine. Let's see if I can get this video up so guys can see it.
Hey, guys.
Hold on. This is a commercial.
We are giving out a ton of these DeWalt samples today. Just fill out our quick 2-minute survey and we'll ship it right to your door.
All right, so here we go. Here she is. Oh, it's just a collage of pictures. And oh, God, it's horrible. So when my mom made Marcelo, he first introduced me to him. I fell in love with him. It was love at first sight. I already said all that. Did I go back to the beginning or something? Anyway, so she got pregnant. I don't know how she did it. She also added, it's true, Marcelo got me pregnant. He didn't take care of himself, and he didn't use a condom. He got me pregnant. I took the test. I was positive. I couldn't believe it, is what she's saying. Okay. So, mental care in the United States is pretty low. You know, if you have mental health issues and stuff like that, it's pretty low here in the United States. How was it in Brazil? I don't know, because she is literally saying, you know, I took a test, I was positive. As the labor went through, I didn't feel the contractions and any pain. Oh, it's a fucking doll. Anyway, so there she goes. Woman marries her ragdoll husband and has a ragdoll baby. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got for you on that story. I don't know where to go from there. All right, guys, stick around when we come back. All you beer drinkers out there, guess what? You can be yelled at for it's going to kill you. But studies have shown that it's actually having a beer gut could help save your life. Stick around. I'll get into that here in just one sec. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We are broadcasting from the Bell. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We are broadcasting from the BellNT.com studios. Make sure you check them out at BellNT.com for all your luxury apparel. And welcome back to Deacon Live. We are broadcasting from the BellNT.com studios for cheap, fashionable clothing. Check them out at BellNT.com for their selection and guaranteed low prices. All right, guys, welcome back to Deacon Live. We are broadcasting from the BellNT.com studios for cheap, fashionable clothing with customer service is number one. Check them out at BellNT.com. That's BellENTTI.com. Now, I drink beer, as most men do, and I always try to watch my weight, trying to watch my belly fat. I try not to eat too many carbs on days where, I like to have a couple beers or so. In the days that I don't drink beer, of course, I download all the carbs. But for the most part, I kind of balance my caloric intake based on my beer drinking for that day. But they're saying right now that having a beer gut, a quote-unquote beer gut, or dad bod, I guess is what they're saying, right? Having a beer gut may actually... Hold on, I got to close this out. Having a beer gut may actually be good for you. Recent researchers could give new meaning to the term beer gut. Beer may join red wine among the vices of with a healthy edge, as a new study revealed in... I cannot talk today. Beer may join red wine among vices with a healthy edge, as a new study revealed that a lager a day, whether alcoholic or non-alcoholic, could keep up your gastrointestinal gastroenterologist away. At least for men is what they're saying. Basically, they're saying that the findings show that men who drank beer each day have a more diverse colony of healthy gut microbes, like the kombucha and all that other crap that everyone's drinking. No, just drink beer, compared to the measurements taken before a daily beer regimen. Previous studies have shown that a more robust gut microbiome, the bacteria, viruses, and fungal that live in there, leads to a lower risk of developing certain chronic issues such as heart disease and diabetes. Humans that are packed with trillions and trillions of microorganisms and the gastrointestinal tract alone, which serves many biological functions, including immense immune defense. Results from the study show that drinking beer increases the gut bacteria diversities without significantly changing the body's weight. A team enlisted 19 men ages 23 to 58 to drink 330 milliliters of beer of 5% Superbock, a Portuguese European-style pale lager. They also swapped it in between a non-alcoholic one per each day. The participants studied considered themselves to be regular beer drinkers and have no serious health issues or concerns during the trial. They were surprised to find that the alcoholic brew too much, to which they had potentially wreaked havoc on their gut, provided beneficial in moderate amounts. moderate amounts. Researchers suggest that the fermentation process in beer making, which produces microorganisms of its own, as well as the presence of micronutrients such as phenols, could be catalysts behind the male participant's blooming gut. The beer is the main and probably only source of hop polyphenols in the human diet. Hops also contain, the words are so hard, xanthohumanol, nailed it, which suggests lower risk of chronic diseases such including obesity and diabetes. The U.S. Center of Disease, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention recommends adult men consume more than fewer or so many drinks per day, and women shouldn't drink as much as well. Each to his own, right? Nevertheless, there are safer ways to build up your microbiome, such as eating foods rich in probiotics, including kimchi, Greek yogurt, and many fruits and vegetables, as well as avoiding sugars, artificial sweeteners, and yes, other things that are bad for you. So there you go. If you have a beer gut, you might be doing good. You might have enough bio stuff in your system. Now, this is going to be one where we're going to have to, you guys are going to have to switch to the camera or go to the YouTube page to see this. Now, don't forget, for your podcast we have a matching video as well, and you can see me waving the camera. Hi. You can also see the pictures and stuff of the lady who married her Ragdoll husband and had a Ragdoll baby. What about the afterbirth? What is it? It's a burlap sack for afterbirth? Anyways, so here we go. This article right here. If you can't do this simple balancing act, you're more likely going to die soon. All right, so let's see if we can do it. As I take a sip of my beer, my biotics. So let's see what we're supposed to do. If you can do this and you're a middle-aged or elderly person, we have some not so great news for you. If you can't do this, a first of its kind 12-year-old study by an international group of experts from the UK. Sure, why not? We can't do anything here in the United States. Oh, they do, yeah. From the UK, Australia, Finland, Brazil, and United States. Where were the Brazil people out there in the other one? As revealed, the middle-aged and elderly people who cannot balance on one leg for 10 seconds are most likely going to die from any cause within the next 10 years than those who can. All right, so tell me more. According to the researchers, the findings were so clear-cut that the simple, safe balance test could be included in the routine health checks for older adults. So that's going to be part of your physical next time you go to the doctor. This isn't the first indication that the lead author of the research excuse me. Claudio Gil Araujo from the the Exercise Medicine Clinic in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, has created this balancing thing. He also developed the Flexi test, an innovative method for accessing body's flexibility, and the sitting rise test. My dad had to go through that a couple times, where you sit, rise, and then sit back down and rise, and just to see, just for oxygen and stuff. I've always been interested in the assessment of physical fitness and its relationship with health. However, only about 15 years ago, after I met Professor Dusan Harmer, that my attention directed to balance. Static balance testing the incorporated in our comprehensive evaluation protocol in the Clinimex in 2008. Since then, we have evaluated over 4,000 subjects from the ages of 6 to 102. Researchers noted that unlikely aerobic fitness, muscle strength, and flexibility tends to be the reasonable preserved until the 6th decade of life, when it starts to wane relatively rapidly, and then yet balance assessment isn't routinely included in health checks for middle-aged people or older men and women. This could be due to the lack of standardized test and a little hard data linking the balance to the. All right, so what do we do? 1 in 5 failed the test with inability to complete the test rising with age. More than half, about 54%, of those aged 71 to 75 were unable to complete the test altogether. Researchers noted that those who failed the test had poorer health and generally had conditions of obesity, heart conditions, high blood pressure, unhealthy blood fat profiles, or type 2 diabetes. Let's see. So how do you do the test? Where's the test? All right, so here. Therefore, researchers have wanted to find out completing a 10-second one-legged stance with cause and prognosis. All right, so let's see. I'm doing this. Okay, before you go any further, you can do it. All right. So it says, can you stand on your leg for more than 10 seconds? That's what it's telling me to do. All right, so I'm going to take my headphones off, move the mic so you can see me. All right. So here we go. Let me stand back here. Oh, back this way probably. All right, so here I am. I'm going to stand. One. Oh, shit. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yay! I did it. I'm going to live. I'm going to live. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to live. Oh, whew. Thank God I wasn't on the side of a road or anything driving a vehicle. I would have died. So there you go. And basically, I think it's called the flamingo or something. You kind of put your hands together above your head like you're praying, like you're looking straight up and praying. Lift your head straight up to the ceiling and stand on one leg. And you can see here, I'll switch the video here. You can see the guy doing the performance right here. It's like a yoga pose where you have your foot on your knee. You know, you lift your foot up like a crane or something like that. So there you go. If you can perform that for 10 seconds and not fall over, you're going to make it. If you fall on the ground, well, you might as well just lay there and go ahead and start burying yourself. All right, guys, when we stick around, we got one more segment to get to, and we'll let you get back to enjoying the rest of your day. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We are broadcasting for the BellNT.com studios. Make sure you check them out for the latest fashion wear and everyday low prices. Make sure you check them out as well. That's BellNT.com, BELEIN. Try that again. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We are broadcasting just outside. Oh, no, we're not. We're broadcasting inside the studio. Try that again. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We are broadcasting from the BellNT.com studios. Check out their wide selection of clothing and guaranteed customer service. That's BellNT, BELENTTI.com for more information. Now, we were talking about the biomechanics or bio gut stuff, you know, beer guts and having all that kombucha and all those things that you're drinking to have your, you know, gut health and all that stuff, all the microbiotic stuff. Now, hear me out. Something is going to happen here shortly, and you're going to see a whole flood of it, especially through your dentist and stuff. It's called biofilms. Now, biofilms on your teeth are your friend. Now, sometimes you get that, like, they feel like barnacles on my teeth. You know, if you go to bed without brushing your teeth, ew, you're disgusting. No, you're disgusting. I'll tell you why. So your mouth is a jungle full of just a bunch of stuff. Sometimes your breath smells. Some people out there. But right now, this is the era of probiotics for oral hygiene. It's fast upon us right now. Products will be coming at you for better or worse, whether you like it or not. Some are already here. There's a little site called Amazon where the product is called Chewable Oral Probiotics for the Mouth. Bad breath treatment supplement by Dr. O'Malley, made up name, holistic dentist. Has over 3,000 ratings with many reviews by giving it many stars over there on Amazon. This is something who has nothing else to do and they feel like they need to have every little thing. So here's a review from Amazon.com. I chew a tasty tablet every morning when I wake up. My breath is no longer bad. Well, if you brush your teeth, it wouldn't be bad either. Of all the thousands and thousands of dollars I've spent on Amazon, because I love everything about Amazon, this person's probably works for Amazon. This little product has been the very best thing that I've ever bought. Really? This is the best thing you've ever bought on Amazon after spending thousands. It has helped me so much to not only do something healthier for my life, but also help me preserve my life as well. Anyways, Good for Eve Garden is a thing. It's $26.99 for 60 lozenges. It's apparently well spent. The actual science behind the idea behind probiotic products that could improve your oral health is truly fascinating. Growing more and more with each use as I take the thing because it also, this is what the lady's saying, not me, because it goes way beyond things like bad breath or mouth or the mouth at all, basically. It also gets into your guts, it gets in all of your stuff. So there you go. They're trying to sell you this biofilm for your teeth. Why don't they just have like those little white strips that you put on your teeth? Just call it probiotic or whatever, biofilm for your teeth. And you're like, is there anything, can I get you anything else with that? Yes. Sorry, my biofilm is on my teeth. So, and you're spitting all over them and stuff. But yeah, the biofilms are going to be the next latest things you're going to start seeing. They're going to be a big push in your, at your dentist office or anything like that. Now, speaking of people who stink, for some of you out there, you ever had a best friend? I know it's kind of a loaded question, but no, really. You ever met someone where you just kind of click and you're like going, and they said, we've talked like we've known each other for years. Well, there's a reason behind that. In Israel, an Israeli study recruited 20 pairs of same-sex platonic friends who said they clicked when they first met each other. According to the electronic nose, the volunteers who heroically agreed to sniff at T-shirts worn from their partners from overnight, the study concluded the pairs of friends smell more similar than random pairs of strangers. Plenty of mammals sniff each other to decide whether they want to play with them, attack, or run away with them, or do something like that. In humans, the role is almost the same way, because it's part of various social taboos. Accumulating in the view of the unimportant for basically, you know, how we're going to be paired together as far as in groups or loved ones or friendships. But what if the perfect strangers begin to interest? But what if perfect strangers All right, so I'm trying to read this ahead of time. What if the perfect strangers begin as an interest as first sniffs rather than first sight alone? So what they've done is they've created this test. The main experiment, 20 pairs of friends who asked to wash with unscented soap, avoid foods like curry and garlic, and sleep in separate beds from their partner. They were instructed to wear fresh cotton T-shirts each night for at least 6 hours and then put the T-shirt in a resealable bag. The shirts were then frozen and then thawed out an hour before the sniffing experiment. The body odor samples were then run through a compact gas sensor device called a PEN3 e-nose, which contains gas sampling unit and a sensor of an array of different smells. The simple graphic technique compared 5 different sensors responding to use the similarities between the odors. In another test, 25 quote-unquote smellers were recruited to compare odors using a T-shirt sniffing device, or glass jar basically with a T-shirt inside of it, and a mask that makes sure that no other smells were interfering with the test, like, you know, Chuck's fish that he just heated up in the microwave in the break room. The smellers examined 2 odor samples at a time, in which they belonged to random pairs of people, while others were friends who they quote-unquote click with. In this experiment, the volunteers and the e-nose both detected more similarities between the friends and the strangers. Not only the experiments give us a clear result, though, when 24 volunteers compared the 3 odor samples, two from their friends and 1 from a stranger, they failed to identify the friendships as easy as those comparing just the 2 samples. So we think that the task may be just too hard, but what they're saying is the volunteers have been asked to rate the 40 body odors as far as friends pair by pleasant, intensity, sexual attractions, competence, and warm personality. Then the researchers combined 5 scores and the pairs who clicked have been rated to be the more similar than random pairs. So they're basically, it's, and we knew this, you know, if you got a friend that kind of smells kind of like you, like if you smell like moldy socks and wet tennis shoes, and your friend is a runner, he's got moldy socks and tennis shoes or wet tennis shoes, boom, you're friends. Now, you might not be a runner, but maybe that's what you smell like because you stand in puddles all day. I don't know. But what they're saying is it's because we have friends. Our friends click based on aroma and the smells. We're more familiar because it smells like us. We're more familiar with that smell. Tell me something I don't know, right? Well, I will. There is something right now that's called Hampton Bladder. Rich New Yorkers are getting bladder surgery and Botox to avoid bathroom breaks on their drive to the Hamptons. Yeah, I know. A New York City urologist has seen more patients requesting the procedure to ease the urge to pee. New York City's wealthiest are hoping to eliminate the need to go during the long drive to their summer homes. Give me a break. Are you for real? Are we clogging up our pee tracks so we don't have to pee on the side of the road? Traffic en route to the Hamptons has gotten so bad that it's seeing some well-heeled New Yorkers is sending some well-heeled New Yorkers to the doctor for a medical procedure that reduces the urge to pee so often. Crawling through increasingly sufferable summer traffic to and from their second homes, sometimes as far as 100 miles, has left many of New Yorkers' wealthiest, especially those on the older side, with increasing bladder issues. You know what? Buy a house somewhere else. I'm sorry. If you can't drive 100 miles without peeing your pants, then you got problems. Unless you're like doing roadies on the way there, if you know what I'm talking about. And they're complaining that there are few places to stop during this multi-hour trip. All right, multi-hour trip, 100 miles. If you're doing 60 miles an hour, it's an hour and a half. If you got traffic, maybe it's 2 hours. Do me a favor. Hello, child. Do you have to go to the bathroom? Because once we get in the car, we're not stopping till we get there. How about that conversation to have to someone? To combat Hampton Bladder, New Yorkers who summer in the exclusive Long Island enclave are seeing a pair of specialized medical procedures. The prostate are seeing specialized medical procedures, prostate arterial embolization, which reduces the size of the prostate in men, and the bladder Botox, which decreases urinary frequency in women. A lot of the people have problems with this issue. They come out to the Hamptons and they have to stop 4 or 5 times. 4 or 5 times? But they can't find a restroom, says David Schutzer. Should be called David. I made $1 million by creating this thing. He has been advertising the procedure with a tagline. God damn it. Race to the Hamptons, not to the bathroom. So there you go. He has seen a 20% spike in his patients. Duh, he created it. He's the only one doing it. I don't see them until May, and then all of a sudden May comes around and they care more and more about this procedure. When they're in the car with a bunch of people, they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed because they have to go to the bathroom yet every hour. He said he has been performing roughly 10 PAEs, which is the procedure, a week before the past few months, along with the bladder Botox at least once or twice a week. Schultzerman said patients have told them about the clashes in cars with friends when they need to go and get off the road and find a restroom to no avail. Thousands of people are probably fighting about this every week is what they're saying. The doctor himself can relate. I can tell you how many times arguments I personally get into. I've lost 3 friends because of it, and I'm the driver, and I refuse to stop for them. Really? You've lost 3 friends because you wouldn't pull over for them to go to the bathroom? All right, so let's look at the address here. So if it was the Hamptons thing, you ever seen those when you go to a concert or something like that, it's a trailer, mobile, some kind of thing pulled behind a truck where it's got portable bathrooms? Let's set some of those up. Let's charge them 50 cents. No, screw them. They're rich. Charge them. You put $2 in the door like you're buying a soda. The door opens up. You take your pee. You come back out. And you go down the road. And you set up 4 or 5 of those on the side of the highway. You get whatever permitting that you need. And you're not ruining your fucking body by, tightening up your pee hole so you don't have to pee or whatever the case may be. You're doing that. How about doing that, And let's save a little bit more. Let's spend the money where it needs to be and not redoing ourselves. You know what's coming next? There's going to be a diet. Hear me out here. Audio trademark. There's going to be a diet that's going to come out that says, are you tired of shitting? Are you tired of going to the bathroom? There's going to be a diet that's going to be created where everything you eat, you process everything, because they're going to assume they're going to come up with a tagline. When you poop, you're wasting food. Where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? I'm just saying. All right, guys, we appreciate each and every one of you for listening to us, downloading us, and the 3 people we got left listening to the show. We appreciate you. We'd like to hear from you as well. The way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. Click on Be Heard. We'd love to hear from you. If you need to email me, you want to send me videos, pictures, or anything like that, email me at deacon@prophetradio.com. Comes right here. We'll put your pictures up if they're suitable. I don't want to see any weird pictures. We'll put them up here on the video podcast. And make sure you follow us everywhere out there on YouTube channel and our Facebook page as well. All right, guys, we're going to let you get back to enjoying the rest of your day. All right, guys, we're going to let you get back to what you... I forgot my tagline. All right, guys, we're going to let you get back to... I literally forgot my tagline. All right, guys, we're going to let you get back to doing what you got to do. Is that what I say? All right, guys. I'll let you get back to doing what you got to do. It sounds good. I'm going with that. All right, guys, we're going to let you get back to doing what you got to do. My name is the Deacon saying good night and good night.
The absolute end.
Écoute-moi,